Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, rule web, and a great example to his younger brothers in the truth. And peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Lord, when this edifying lesson. And we gonna get straight into it. This a video from, you know, the ultimate nigga, Charleston White, you know. But let's get into it. So like
Don't eat, don't eat pork.
I can't get it to the beginning for some reason.
You eat beef, don't you?
Don't eat pork.
Do you like beef? Pork is not the white man's diet. Pork is not the white man's diet. Beef is. Our digestive system is not even meant to digest beef. Our teeth are not even meant to chew meat. So what you telling me about pork for and you eat beef? One of the worst products, it's a dead carcass. And it takes 3 days to rot in your belly before your body can digest it. So what's your problem with pork? And most of the cancers come from beef. You eat beef, don't you?
Don't eat pork.
Do you like beef? Pork is not the white man's diet. Pork is not the white man's diet. Beef is. Our digestive system is not even meant to digest beef. Our teeth are not even meant to chew meat. So what you telling me about pork for and you eat beef? One of the worst products, it's a dead carcass. And it takes 3 days to rot in your belly before your body can digest it. So what's your problem with pork? And most of the cancers come from beef.
And that's pretty much the point, you know. But Jake off his head, man, you know. And pork is worse than beef, but if you look it up and you go into look this shit up on Google, which is ran by Esau, you know, they gonna say, you know, pork and beef about the same. But what did the Lord say, man? What did the scripture say? You know? And we gonna go into that, you know. And he also said beef is the white man's diet. He also say beef is the white man's diet, and he also wrong on that, man. Because not deer, but I mean you can consider all that red meat as beef, like deer, goat, lamb. You know that's all considered beef. You know, and too much of anything is bad for you. So you don't supposed to just eat straight. You know that's why you know they say the Mediterranean diet is the healthiest diet you could be on. But what did they include inside the Mediterranean diet? Pork, you know. And pork, you know, that people all over the place eating pork, it all go back to Greece. The Greeks and the Romans, man. Esau eating, the so-called white man. You know? That's where that eating swine's flesh come from. And the heathens, yeah, they eat anything, but we are not heathens. We are the Israelites, or 2/3 of our people are heathens, man. You know, but that's pretty much the point on it. We might go back to it. Let's go into I don't know where I got it at. I'm looking at football. Let's go to Leviticus because the Lord clearly tell us not to eat swine's flesh. So like wrong spot. This the book of Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 1. You know, straight to the nitty gritty. You know, you close the book after the law, man. And the Lord spake unto Moses and said to Aaron, say unto them, unto the children of speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among the beasts that are on the earth. Whosoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth of the cud among these beasts shall ye eat. And that's simple and plain as that, man. So the beasts that you can eat on the earth are the ones that chew the cud, and that chew the cud mean they chew, swallow, regurgitate, chew more, and swallow, basically like cows and animals such as that nature, cow, deer, um, you know, bison, different animals like that. They chew the cud and they part of the hoof, you know, and they say and part of the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud, so like among these beasts thou shalt eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat, of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide divide the hoof, or them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but he divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you. Verse 5 it say, and the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud and divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, and the Lord was breaking down like different animals that chew the cud, well, not the Lord, through Moses. Moses was breaking down different animals that chew the cud and divide of not the hoof, but they chew the cud. They chew, they regurgitate their food, chew it up some more, but they hoofs are not divided, so you cannot eat those animals. And it go into the last one, and it kind of flip. It say, in the swine, though he divideth the hoof, he and be cloven footed, he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you, man. So the swine, which is a pig, you know, he divided the hoof. He got cloven foot, but he don't chew the cud, man. He unclean unto you. A pig is the earth's trash can, man. A pig will eat anything, man. If it's a rotten body, a body that's rotten, that been there for a month, maggots all in, a pig will eat that before it eat, something that just died, man. You know, pig is a disgusting animal, man. They don't chew the cud. They got 150 and 10. I mean, stuff. No, they don't. I'm true, but they got parasites. They have no sweat glands, and that's where that what they call that shit, thyroid comes from. Where your sweat glands stop working. That's how pigs are, man. That's why the meat already salty, because they have no sweat glands, and all those toxins are sitting inside them. Because when you sweating out toxins, and your fluid, you of course fluids, but you sweating out toxins. You know, but it's an unclean animal, and they also got parasites with them. You know, but a cow, a deer, different things of that nature. On the other hand, they don't eat fucking rotten animals. They don't eat stuff like that. A cow and different things of that nature. What are they gonna eat? They're gonna eat grass. They're gonna eat hay. You know, maybe berries or nuts and stuff like that, fruit or something like that. But they not gonna eat no rotten animal. They unclean animals, man. I mean, they're clean animals, and pigs are unclean animals. Beef, which is cow, the main product, you can say beef is cow, are clean animals, man. And if you eat too much, what make beef so bad nowadays, because they shoot everything up with steroids and all these different things. But too much beef, yeah, it is bad. Yeah, it is not. It ain't good for diet. The main thing that you should be eating, to keep your diet tip top shape, you can have a little side of meat. You don't want to just eat, you know, all meat. You want to have you some greens, nuts, berries. You don't want to eat meat all day, every day. That ain't healthy. But it ain't unlawful. The Lord said, "Got high holy days where you sacrifice the lamb or the goat." Which goat and lamb, that's considered beef. You know, Goat and lamb is considered beef. But let's go, because a nigga say the law done away with. So we gotta go there. The law done away with. Lord, Lord say you can eat unclean and clean animals. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. It reads, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets, the Old Testament, going back the first 5 books of Moses, the law, or the prophets going into the Old Testament, going to Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Amos, Hosea, those different books. The Lord say he ain't come to destroy none of that. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. And whosoever shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach man so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, so you're supposed to keep the laws to the best of your ability and teach others to do so, man. At least warn them to do so. You can't make nobody do nothing, but you warn them, so to speak. And all these people saying it's okay to eat this and eat that, they gonna be least in the kingdom, man, because and that's what the Lord said. Hey, mass judgment is finna come upon niggas, man. And Charleston White, he know about the truth. He know about the Israelites. He talked shit before, you know. he talked shit about the Hebrew Israelites, man. But all these people, they gonna eat their words soon, man. They gonna regret their doings, you know. But let's go to let's go to Maccabees, because this is where swine entered into the picture. You know, swine came from the Greeks and the Romans, but first and foremost the Greeks. This is Second Maccabees. When you go into the Maccabees, you go into the Greek empire, dealing with the Israelites in Greece, in the Greek Empire. Going back to Alexander. The first chapter of Maccabees break Alexander down to a T. You got motherfucker. Oh, that ain't no. That's written of in Esau's history, man. Going into Alexander, his 4 generals, the Ptolemy, the Seleucid, cat. I forgot how to say it. Cass, something like that. Cass and Laodicea. Those 4. And I think it was one more, but he wasn't. It was mainly those 4. You know, and mainly the Seleucids and Ptolemies. If I ain't mistaken, I could be wrong, Lord, but I know the Seleucids and Ptolemies, the main 2 dynasties that kept going. But going back into Maccabees, this is where pork eating and all that came from. So let's get into this second Maccabees 6:1. It say, not long after this, the king sent. So I try to keep this phone. So boy, got a short. It say, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and polluted. And that's where the Hellenized Jews come from. This where in the Old Testament when they speak about the Gentiles, you know, concerning the Israelites that are Gentiles. This where it started, man. Right here. It's saying not long after this, in this area, rather, in the Maccabees, in the Greek Empire. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their father and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that the and that in Garzim of Jupiter, defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was with filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dogged who dallied with harlots, and had to do with women within the circle of the holy place. Yeah, becoming unclean, because sex is an unclean act. It ain't a sin, but you doing it in the holy place. That's worthy of death, man. You defiling the temple, man. You know, it say and dallied with harlots, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy place, and besides that brought in Salat, Salat, and besides that brought in things that were unlawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbid. Never, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbaths or Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or profess himself at all to be a Jew. And that's where that the Hellenist period came from. It say in the day of the king's birth every month they were they were brought by bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifices, and when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathens by the suggestions of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices, and whoso will not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the presence of misery. Yeah, because they forced this upon our people, man. Because we are the Israelites, we are the Jews, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the Greeks at that time who were doing these things, they were the Edomites, man, the so-called white man. And Esau know he was the Greeks and the Romans, man. As far as Alexander, Ptolemy, they hold on to that dear, man. They cherish that knowledge. They teach you that in school, man. Civilization started with the Greeks. You learn about Alexander, you know, and how he wore the leopard print hat or whatever he used to wear. You learned about this nigga, man. You learned about Ptolemy and a little bit about those different kings up under him, man. And how he conquered the known world. These things you learned in school, and the same thing you learned in school, you read in the Maccabees what they taught you, man. You know. Verse 10 it say, for there were two women brought who had circumcised their children. See, they were forced them not even to circumcise their children. That's why you got a lot of people who don't circumcise their children. And I was circumcised when I was born. All my brothers, my mama circumcised. She a Jew, a so-called person that no, she not in the truth. She ain't know nothing about no Israelites. As far as um this movement. Of course, everybody know about the Israelites who've been to church. She know about them as far as that aspect, but us calling ourselves Israelites, she didn't know that. So she was still Hellenized, but some and a lot of people's spirits, they parents still, circumcised them. It ain't that we don't be circumcised the 8th day. You be circumcised as soon as you born. But the point of the matter is that it was done. Some Israelites still keep that custom. And you got a lot. Say half and half. You got some Israelites who circumcise their kids, and you got a lot of people who are against it, man. You know, and which we off anyway, regardless you get circumcised as a baby or not. Our people still off as a nation. And saying others that had run together unto caves nearby to keep Sabbath days secretly, being discovered by Philip. That problem. Being discovered by Philip. I ain't trying to kill it. His ass gone. Salaki. Damn. Salaki. Being discovered by Philip were all burnt together because they made a conscience to help themselves for the day of the most sacred the most sacred day. Verse 12 it say, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discovered for these calamities. That they be not discovered for these calamities. Verse 12, it say, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discovered for discouraged for these calamities, not be discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Yeah, because the Lord was punishing us. You go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, the Lord say he's gonna send us send our enemy against us, and we don't want to serve him for the one of our things. He got okay, I got something for you. Guess what? I'm gonna give you over to your enemies. You know. Verse 13 it say, for it is a token of his great goodness. For it is a token for his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. Verse 14, it say, for not as with other nations, whom the Lord um, patiently forbear to punish. Yeah, because the Lord get ready to fuck these heathens up, man, the worst way. See, the heathens, they go long time without even getting a slight punishment, man. That's why they can do what they want, and they also were not given the law, statutes, commandments. you know. But the Lord getting ready to be very terrible unto these heathens, and He gonna show that He always loved us, and we gonna be on top forever, man, ruling as the sons of God. It say, verse 14 again. It say, for not as with the other nations whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish till they be till they become of the fullness of their sin. So dealeth he with us, yeah, because he chastised us as soon as we start. As soon as Jake go off, you get fucked up, man. You know, where you have our people in this world, you'll look at them like, damn, they don't get fucked up as quick as those in the truth get fucked up. You in the truth and you doing something wrong, it's like the Lord judge your ass immediately, and you gonna feel it. You gonna know, damn, the Lord punished me for that act. You gonna know, damn, I fucked up somewhere. Let me examine myself. Let me, and then if you're not, doing nothing too wrong, you still understand I sinned against the Lord, so these things don't come upon me, man. You know, but you gonna understand, you gonna have a conscience that, hey, we committed iniquities, and the Lord is still punishing us for these things, man. But we still striving for righteousness, man. It say, least being come to the height of sin afterward, he should take vengeance of us. It say, and therefore he never withdraw his mercies from us. Yeah, because the Lord gonna be merciful to the remnant. And though he punish with adversity, yet doeth he never forsake his people. Yeah, the Lord not gonna forsake us in the times to come, man. You know? Hey, that's why we doing what we doing in hopes that the Lord have mercy on us, man. But let this that we at spoken be for a warning unto us. Everything written 4 times written for our learning. And will we come now when we come to declare of the matter in a few words. Eleazar, verse 18, Eleazar, this one of the points, one of the principal scribes, and the scribe was one who wrote down, these different stories, man. Wrote down different stories about different great prophets, different great men, different great writers. That's what a scribe was, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I'm correct on that. Well, I can't look it up on this one. An aged man and of well favor countenance was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh, but he chose rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination. Spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. So he like, fuck that. I ain't eating no fucking pork. You know, I'm not gonna act like I'm eating pork. You know, I ain't doing it. It say as it behooved them to come that are resoluted to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tased. Verse 21 it say, but they that had the charge of that wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man taketh him aside, besought him to bring fresh of his own provision. Yeah, like go get some lamb, get some goat, get some venison, something. you know, go get what you eat, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Yeah, go act like you eating abomination. So because you a leader of these people, so the rest of these people, the people who look up to you, the men that look up to you under you, they think it's okay. Sell out basically, and that's what a lot of our people they do. Especially with the jump shot. A lot of these niggas who telling you to take it, they ain't took that shit, man. That's the thing, man. And some of them did take it, man. But you got some people who was paid to say take it and do all these different things to persuade the people to do these things, and they haven't done these things. Same as the music and different things of that nature. Portray this life, you know. Portray that you was a dope boy and all this and that. Make it sound fun. Make it, catchy. Do these things, man. Verse keep going. Verse 22 it say that in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. Yeah, so yeah, do this and you won't die. But he began to consider discreetly. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age and the excellency of his ancient years and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come in his most honest education from a child, or or rather the holy law made and given by Yahweh. Therefore he answered accordingly and willingly and willed them straightway to send him to the grave. Like kill me, y'all got me fucked up. You know, when I like a like a nigga in the world, like a OG. You know, he died a glorious death, man. You know, he died. Um, he died for what he stood. You know, or what he stood for. You know, and that was Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He say for it became no, verse 25, and so they thought mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me. And this same thing gonna happen with this MOTB thing. You know, instead of people willing to die for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for this truth, Lord willing, we keep the spirit on this, they gonna sell out just to eat swine. You know, a nigga like this, Charleston White, your Boosie Badass, and all these different niggas, man. P. Diddy's and Jay Z, LeBron James, Nick Cannons, and Ice Cubes, Ice T's, Ice Ice Coke. Let me stop. All these niggas, you know, all these rap bitches and actors and actresses and all these people, pastors, all these motherfuckers gonna take it, man, and they gonna push it hard. You know, they gonna push it harder than they push anything, man. They say should be deceived by me, back in verse 25, halfway through, and I get a stain to mine old age, and make it abominable. For though, or it say for though the present time I should be delivered for the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. It say wherefore now manfully charge this life, I will shew myself such in one as mine age requires. Yeah, so he's like, instead of fucking my name up, eating this damn pork, I'd rather die, man. I'd rather die a man of honor, a man of integrity, you know, rather than to sell out and put a stain on my name, you know. Oh, that man got all that old nigga soul, you know. He want to get talked about like that, man. And say, verse 28, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. Yeah, and that's how we gonna be when this MOTB get implemented, which is the CHIP. You know, can't say too much, but that's what it is, man. You know, and we willing to die manfully rather than to take these things. It's a lot of fishy going on, trying to figure out what these things are going. But we willing to die manfully rather than to take these things, man. You know, and that the point being of the whole thing is this when this swine eating, you know, when you go with the pig with the apple in his mouth, that's where that shit come from, man. You know, it all started with the Greeks and the Romans, man. It didn't start with uh, uh, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, you know, which they adopted it. Of course, Jake sold out. Jake wicked as hell, and Jake started doing these things. And even in this lifetime, eating pork didn't come, you know, until captive slavery. That's why Jake loved chitlins and hog maws and pig feet and shit like that. That came from the parts that Esau didn't want to eat in slavery. That's why Jake still to this day eat that shit, man. You know, but our people did not eat no fucking pork and all that old bullshit, man. You know, that's a custom of the heathens. You know, that's a custom of Esau eating the so-called white man. That's what the white man eat, pork. and different abominable things, man. But that's pretty much the point. Lord, when this was edifying, I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, the Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, rule where been a great example to his younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessings to the host of Lake Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah, and the Bible, Shalom.